Choose. Choose between me and her.
Sophia, I've already made my choice.
No, don't say it like that. Look at me and say it.
I love her. I don't need you anymore.
Sophia's heart felt as though it had been ripped out of her chest. The weight of the betrayal pressed down on her like 1,000 pounds, her body numb with shock. She had caught her boyfriend, Ryan, kissing another girl, the very girl she had been suspicious of for months. They had shared so many memories together in that apartment, but now it felt like a foreign place, a place she couldn't bear to stay in any longer. "Choose, Ryan," she had said, her voice trembling but strong. "Me or her?" Ryan didn't hesitate. His words cut through her like a sharp blade. "I'm in love with her, Sophia," he said flatly. "I didn't know how to tell you, but it's the truth. I can't be with you anymore." The words echoed in her mind long after she left the scene, packing her things in a daze. Ryan had been everything to her, and now he was nothing. The betrayal stung deeper than she expected. She couldn't think straight, couldn't bear to stay in the apartment that now felt so empty, so lifeless. Without a plan, she left her old life behind. She didn't even know where she was going, only that she needed to be somewhere else, somewhere that didn't remind her of Ryan. She needed to escape, even if only for a while. Hours later, she found herself standing in front of a grand hotel. She looked up at its towering facade, trying to collect herself. The sign outside read, "Guests only, exclusive dinner party tonight." She wasn't even sure why she was there, but something inside her, something she couldn't quite name, compelled her to go inside. She checked into a room, went up, and tried to compose herself. But when she entered the hotel room, the isolation didn't ease the pain. It only made it worse. Sophia glanced at the clock, noting that the dinner party was starting soon. Why not, she thought, the idea of being around strangers giving her a slight sense of comfort. Maybe the noise, the laughter, and the distractions would help drown the emptiness inside her. She dressed in a simple black dress, freshened up, and made her way down to the event. The hotel ballroom was nothing short of breathtaking, sparkling with chandeliers and surrounded by elegant, well-dressed guests. The chatter filled the air, laughter mixing with the clinking of glasses. But to Sophia, everything felt distant. She wasn't interested in mingling. She wasn't even sure she wanted to be there. She stood at the back of the room, trying to blend in while sipping from her champagne glass. The alcohol was starting to work its magic. She could feel the tension in her chest start to loosen, the edges of her broken heart blurring slightly as the alcohol took hold. Her vision began to blur too, and before long, she was tipsy, probably more than she should have been, but she didn't care. It wasn't like there was anyone waiting for her at home. No one would notice if she stayed out late or if she got too drunk to make sense of things. Sophia made her way back to her hotel room, swaying slightly as she stumbled down the hallway. She tried to focus on the door to her room, but everything felt a little out of focus. As she reached for the handle, something unexpected happened. Her blurred vision led her to the wrong suite. Without realizing it, she swiped the key and entered the room, her heart racing as she stepped inside. The space was dimly lit, but she didn't notice anything other than the man standing by the window. Luca. He was standing in front of a large window, looking out at the city below, a glass of whiskey in his hand. The billionaire CEO of the hotel she had just checked into. Sophia froze in the doorway, her heart skipping a beat as she processed the sight before her. Panic set in. "I'm sorry," she stammered. I think I went into the wrong room." Luca turned toward her. His eyes narrowed for a moment, before a slow smile spread across his face. He was slightly tipsy too, but he seemed composed, more so than she felt. The tension in the air was thick, charged with something she couldn't place. "I think you did," Luca said smoothly, "but you're here now." Sophia's pulse quickened. She wasn't sure what to say. Her mind was still spinning from the earlier confrontation with Ryan, and now here she was, standing in a stranger's hotel suite. She tried to laugh it off. "This is crazy. I didn't mean to. I just—" Luca interrupted her gently, setting his glass down. He walked toward her, his presence suddenly overwhelming. "Relax," he said, his voice low but inviting. "It happens. I'm not upset. In fact, I think I prefer this little mix-up." He smiled slightly. "You look like you could use a drink." I'm not sure that's a good idea," she said, but her voice lacked conviction. The weight of her emotions was still pressing on her, and the alcohol was making everything feel so much more intense. Luca grinned, walking over to the bar, poured 2 glasses of whiskey, his movement smooth and confident. "I'm sure you could use a distraction. You look like someone who's had a rough night." Sophia hesitated. She didn't know why she agreed to take the drink, but something in Luca's presence made her feel safe, if only for the moment. She reached for the glass, her fingers brushing his, and took a sip, savoring the burn as the whiskey slid down her throat. Luca watched her carefully, his gaze never leaving hers as she drank. The air between them was thick with an intensity that neither of them could deny. "You're not going back to the dinner party?" Luca asked, breaking the silence. Sophia shook her head, the alcohol now buzzing through her veins. "No, I just needed some air, a place to be alone." Luca's gaze softened, his expression understanding. "Well, you're not alone now." Sophia turned to look at him, uncertain, but something about the way he spoke felt like an unspoken invitation. She had no idea where this was leading, but she couldn't deny the pull she felt toward him. Before she could stop herself, Luca closed the space between them. The chemistry between them was undeniable. She knew it was reckless, but in that moment, she didn't care. She couldn't stop herself. His hand gently reached for her arm, pulling her closer. "Are you sure you want to go back to your room, Sophia?" he asked, his voice low and inviting. "You can stay here a little longer, if you'd like." Sophia's heart raced, her mind a whirlwind of emotions. Her body screamed for her to stay, to give in. Before she could speak, she simply nodded. Luca carried her gently and placed her on the bed and kissed her. It was a sweet kiss that left both of them with closed eyes. They both felt something different. Sophia held him tightly and whispered to his ears how she liked the way he kissed her. That night was filled with unforgettable memories that will live with both of them forever. Sophia awoke with Luca still beside her. The sunlight filtered through the curtains, casting a soft glow on the room. Her heart was still racing from the emotions that had played out the night before. Memories of shared confessions, passionate moments, and a deep connection neither of them had expected. Luca stirred beside her, stretching slightly before glancing at her with a small smile. "Good morning," he murmured, his voice still thick from sleep. Sophia smiled weakly, but she could see the lingering unease in his eyes. It was clear that neither of them had expected this, what had happened between them or what it could become. The night had been impulsive, but now the reality of it set in. She was still dealing with the wreckage of her past with Ryan, and Luca was dealing with the betrayal that had brought him here. She wasn't sure if she was ready to move on from all of it, But Luca wasn't like Ryan. He wasn't trying to force anything. He was here, in this moment, because he wanted to be with her. "I'm not sure what I want," she admitted quietly. "But being with you, it feels different. I just need time to figure things out." Luca smiled softly, his eyes softening. "I'm not going anywhere, Sophia. I'll give you all the time you need." Later that day, as the sun began to set, Luca looked at her with a sense of urgency. He hadn't spoken much since the morning, but now there was a determination in his eyes. "There's something I need to do, Sophia. It's not going to be easy, but I need you with me." Sophia frowned. "What do you mean?" Luca took a deep breath, the weight of his words hanging in the air. The room fell into a heavy silence as Luca stood there, his expression somber, his voice low and weighed down by something unspoken. "It's about my wedding," he said quietly. He paused, exhaling slowly before adding, "Today." For a moment, time seemed to stop. Sophia froze. Her eyes widened, her breath catching in her throat as the words sank in. "Your wedding?" she whispered, her voice barely holding together. She stood there, trying to process what she had just heard, her heart racing, her thoughts spiraling. Then her voice rose, trembling with disbelief. "You're getting married today?" A sharp pause followed. Her tone hardened, cutting through the silence. "To who?" Sophia asked, her voice trembling. If you want to know what happens next, comment Part 2 below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell so you never miss more powerful and engaging stories. See you in the next part.